but that is fine, we can just use Jangle Storms. And we are underway. So the start of the game is quite story heavy. Thankfully we can skip most of the dialogue, so it doesn't take as long as it would appear. These first few screens, there'll be a number of guards. They'll be either killing or avoiding, depending on their preference. The guards can drop gems, which are useful for buying items. You need a certain amount of gems throughout the run. They can also have a rare chance of dropping some items. The two items we mainly want to see here are a pike ball drop, as well as, really rarely, a monster milk. Yeah, but both of them pretty much choosing to kill the same number of guards here. But having a slight lead in gems, that's the only difference between them so far. Yeah, you can see here that they're using all their abilities to get through the section. You see on Bird's side and on Jangle's side now, they're doing a risky shuffle there, going back and forth really quickly just to build up their charge a little bit quicker. Both runners choosing to use their pike ball in the screen transition here. What that will do is it will kill the mines slightly quicker in entering this room, which just makes the speed of doing that a little bit. And also the pike ball will then last, unless you're really unlucky, through the first boss fight coming up against Ammo Baron here. So neither runner getting any drops. Bird having 21 gems compared to Jangle's 8. That is a significant difference. So here we are against Ammo Baron. So the way Ammo Baron works, he can do one of three things. He can charge at you, like you can see on Jangle's side. He can shoot black cannonballs at you, and he can shoot red cannonballs at you. He'll go through in that order, so he'll think will he want to charge or not, then will he want to shoot black cannonballs, and then will he want to shoot red cannonballs. And as you can see, if you hit red cannonballs back at him, that will knock him out. And using the pike ball, we can kill him in just 3 cycles with that. So Bird having slightly better luck in that fight, Janglestorm getting a lot of charges early on, but getting decent luck at the end. So Bird in the slight lead at the moment. So just got about a minute of cutscenes between this boss fight and the next time we're allowed to move. So yeah, whilst we were fighting Ammo Baron here, who is actually his town, he is actually the mayor of the town. Risky Boots, our arch nemesis, decides to install a bathtub in Shantae's house, and turns out she wasn't being nice, it was actually a trap. So here we are, about to start off the fight against the first and only Cackleback we'll kill during the run. Bird with a very nice kill there, that's an interesting way to take it there. Yeah, there are multiple ways to do this fight. Both of them going for very, very similar strategies there. Very nice kill by both of them. So as mentioned earlier, Bird's playing on the PS4, while I believe Janglestorm's playing on PC. There are no major differences between those two versions. I believe the load times are pretty much identical. However, other versions, the load time can differ somewhat. There's both players now going to visit Sky and the Hatchery to pick up a library card. We need to do this along as do a save in town before we're allowed to leave, so that's what you see both runners do at the moment. After doing both those things, speaking to the guard, we're on our way into Scarecrow Fields. So here you'll see both runners killing pretty much all the scarecrows they come across. They'll be hoping for some drops, either gems, or preferably either a super pike ball or a monster milk drop. and they can drop food items, which are useful. They do actually save time, so interested if either player gets that. Bird getting absolutely nothing from the Orcs either. Janglestorm not getting any items either, so both of them about equal RNG, although Bird is still ahead on gem counts due to that open. So what you see them do here with the sewers is not run into the snake. It's what you want to see them do is just get stuck between the ceiling and the snakes, using their scimitar, they then bounce off it in quick succession, actually killing the snakes 3 times, so you get 3 potential drops from it. And there's the flash pops, which they need to collect 3 of, have a 50% drop rate. Generally you get all 3, or at least all 3, from just killing those 2. And if you get any excess, they can be used for animation skips, which I will explain when we first see one. So Bird now handing over the brochure to our friend Squid Baron here to get some squid oil. So normally we'd have to come back a lot later on to get the brochure to then get the squid oil, but thankfully, because we're in pirate mode, we have everything we need to do that straight away. As Bird runs slightly past the door, that will cost him a small amount of time. Janglestorm getting a much better lineup, so a fraction of a second he's gained, but he's gained as all-time matters in this. So we're very nearly done with our initial item collection, just general story stuff. So we'll soon be able to leave the island and on to the next one. So neither player has a pike ball. If they did, you might see one of them use their pike ball while going back across here to let them kill the orcs. But because neither of them have it, they will just be jumping over the orcs. Yeah, those orcs generally drop 5 gems each, so they can be worth killing. Yeah, they'll be killing the scarecrows on the way back through again, hoping for some item drops or even just more gems to just ensure they have money when they need it later. Bird getting a pike ball drop, he'd be somewhat relieved to have that. As Janglestorm gets one as well. That pike ball drop is useful at one point later on in the run, but you'll probably get one before then as well. But it's nice knowing you have it. So by handing back the library card to Sky here, gives us 100 monies, and we can then go buy that in the shop. Bird bought 4 pirate flares and a super pike ball there, whereas Janglestorm only has the money for 3 pirate flares. Bird, I believe, likes using his extra pirate flare if he gets one, leaving Saliva Island, whereas Janglestorm will run back.
Let's go!
So here we are on the first main island of the game, Saliva Island, and you'll soon find out why it is called that. To make our way through a couple of screens here, nothing too out of the ordinary until we get to this room. We meet up with Twitch and Vinegar, who decided to come do some sunbathing, but unfortunately the water's out. Luckily they brought a ham with them, which when you whip it 6 times will let off a stink, which you can then suck up with your lamp. Which we then need to get the water back on. Using our cannon here, we can climb up this area that we'd normally have to traverse through a number of screens to get to. So you'll have seen Bird there pause and unpause 3 times in rapid succession. That was on purpose. The reason for that is it skips an animation on the Gigaluminous. It skips a blinking animation, which will save about 3 seconds. Janglestorm getting it as well. So yeah, with the water back on, you can now see why it is called Saliva Island. We pick up our Petrify spell, which will allow us to get into the first dungeon of the game. With this Petrify spell in hand, both players will be heading over to see this guy here, who wants to use a Petrify spell to try and unpetrify his wife there. And it goes exactly as you'd expect. So, welcome to Spittle Maze. We enjoy our stay here, and so long, Spittle Maze. So, going into the secret dungeon here, which is an homage to the Game Boy Color game, the original Shantae game. We'll be going to collect 2 keys here. The reason for that is keys in this game are global, so any key you collect anywhere. As Bird bought some potions, I haven't seen him do that. So you used a potion there, and by using a potion at a specific time while picking up the key, you skip the key picking up animation. You see Janglestorm do the same but with a food item. So you do the food eating or potion drinking animation instead of the pick up animation, which will save you between 2 and 3 seconds. So that's why food drops in this game are actually good to get, as well as being able to be used for safety, of course. But yeah, as I was saying, keys in this game are global, so any key works in any dungeon. So we'll be grabbing 2 additional keys from here, and then we'll be using them in the later on in the run. Ooh, Bird gets a monster milk drop. That is fantastic for him. So he'll probably be using that in the dungeon here, and it will save him some time. That's a very nice drop to get. Janglestorm's only a couple rooms behind. This is a very close race at the moment. Janglestorm having a bit of trouble shooting switches there as yet. You see Bird switching to his monster milk and using it as he enters this gauntlet room against 2 wet men. You'll see him using a similar attack here to hit both of them, and with the monster milk that will give his all his attacks plus 5 damage. All his sword and melee attacks, I should say. You see Janglestorm only doing 4 per hit there, so a significant difference in time. And unfortunately Janglestorm getting the wet man to go to the right, so losing a little bit more time with that. We're now at the end of our first dungeon. We'll be fighting off against Cyclops Plant. So the monster milk buff that Bird uses will go into this fight, so he'll have it for the entirety of this. So that's phase 1 over. So it's similar to what we did against the snake in the sewers. Get above the ceiling, get below the ceiling and the eye, we'll just bounce off it. And we pretty much do the exact same thing in phase 2. That was a really, really nice kill by Bird. Janglestorm having a nice kill as well. You can see the difference without the monster milk. Jangle was also slightly off. He wasn't stationary during his movements and at the perfect position, so was moving around a bit, which cost him a little bit of time, but not too much. No, Bird is not using his Pirate Flare, unless I mistook it and he didn't buy an extra one and bought those potions instead. Unless he's taken up the 2 shopping route. This is interesting. Yeah, with the Spiderweb Island map in hand, both players will now be heading off to Spiderweb Island.
I'm ready.
So the first few screens of Spiderweb Island are fairly simple. The first screen, you just run past everything. The second and fourth screen, you'll be seeing these ghosts. So we know where these ghosts have a chance to spawn at, we just don't know exactly where they'll be. So you have to take those screens very carefully. As the ghosts can hit hard and they can combo you, knock you down, and you can actually lose quite a lot of time there. But knowing where they are and just playing it safe, you should be good. This Bird picks up a fossil, so that's an item we'll use later on. Janglestorm makes it past the first ghost room, no issues at all. As Bird is about to enter into Run Run Rotty Tops. Janglestorm, thinking he had a food item there, unfortunately does not. So he's setting up for the animation skip, but being unable to do it. So yeah, welcome to Run Run Rotty Tops. It's a section in which you can lose a lot of time, and a section in which you can't gain a lot of time, unfortunately. So any enemy you hit here will send you back to the start of the room. If you don't have any health, so you can take as many hits as you want, you'll only lose time. But because this isn't meant to be a speedrun, ideally you take 0. Gatekeeper there being nice to Bird and getting a tongue skip. So if you, with precise positioning, you can fall off the ledge there and be out of the hitbox of the tongue before it fully extends. So that's a very, very nice room from Bird. And you see him doing a little shuffle there. Oh, and gets hit by the tongue. By doing the shuffle there, we're manipulating the tongue off. It's off screen at the moment. Not getting the skip on the second time. And he decides to wait for the tongue. Smartly so. Janglestorm narrowly avoiding Gatekeeper there. Yeah, the vast majority of the sections you can see on Bird's side are just waiting for these spikes to come up and down, so not a lot you can do. But both of them get a decent start to that room with the first spike being up, allowing them just to skip that one extra cycle. And Bird gets the skip in the next room as well. There's nothing you can do to influence that. We don't know exactly what determines the cycles in these rooms. It can't be a global cycle, otherwise all rooms after the first spike would be the same. Because you're always going to be after one spike goes up, you're always going to go straight away, so you'd always be on the same cycle if it matched up from room to room. Yeah, Bird making good progress, and now onto the gravestone room. So in this room, we know which gravestones have the chance to come alive. We just don't know when they will. So he'll be jumping over very specific graves. It may look odd, but that's because he knows which ones can come to life. And then the second room, all of them can come to life, and that's true from now on throughout the rest of the run. But nicely done by Bird. Jungle getting a little lucky there, jumping into the hitbox of one of the graves, but thankfully it didn't come to life. Very narrowly avoiding that one. On Bird's side, we're introduced to the Kissy robots, who will just run after Shantae. Thankfully, you run quicker than them, and they're fairly easy to avoid. I'm not sure I agree with his try and make everyone sick by jumping up and down a lot, making the screen move strategy, but if it works for him. Yeah, this is one of the two long rooms in here. Thankfully, this one is not too difficult, but it is still possible to miss a jump and take a death and lose a lot of time. Now Bird coming up to the infamous Stevens here. So that first room we can just jump over them all. Bird not getting the zero platform there, which I did learn is possible. Oh, and the gates of hell are open for him, but the Stevens just about nice. So in that room, the gates there again, all about cycles. The first gate there can either be opened or closed. We have no control over it. If it's open, we save a significant amount of time. Or not insignificant, I should say. And yeah, you see on Jangle's side, they're closed, and this little Stevens are just in his way. He should be fine to make it through. And he waits out the last one, jumps over it, and gets through. As both players now on the final room. So this room contains all the enemies and obstacles we've seen throughout Run Rotty Tops. And this last section can be very tricky. You have gravestones below you, tongues above you, and a Kissy robot behind you. But Bird makes it through without any trouble at all. And that's a ridiculously good time he's on at the moment. And Janglestorm's on a really good place too. Pace even, sorry. Yeah, with the Rotty Tops dropped off, we'll now be heading back. Thankfully, we already had the squid oil as we could pick it up earlier, otherwise we'd be in for a backtrack here. So we've got a couple cutscenes and then we'll be on our way into this second dungeon of the game. So picking up the shriveled thing, which is an item that lets us get into the first dungeon. And yep, it smells. Janglestorm getting here, so the players are about 20 seconds apart at this point, which is, yeah, They're really close together. Anything can happen. So here we are in Cackle Tower. So you see the players here going for a key. They could have got one in the last dungeon, but most players choose to get one here. As he gets a super pipe ball from one of the skeletons. That's a very nice shot to get and very rare. Yeah, heading down here, he'll be heading to the right, killing a few more skeletons, and then he'll be killing a Batgirl. So this is where the pipe ball he picked up earlier, although he just got another one, will come in handy for just making sure you can 3-cycle the Batgirl. And maybe even 2-cycling it, I believe. Yeah, Bird just missing out. And he gets a Super Monster Milk. That is a very nice drop. That is the best drop you can get off her, and the not the rarest, but yeah, definitely the one you want. As Janglestorm also gets a Super Pipe Ball from the skeletons. Yeah, the Batgirl is the main reason most players kill this, get this key as opposed to the one in the first dungeon. Let's see if Janglestorm gets it. He gets a Pirate Flare, the Nori special. So that's the rarest drop. It's also worth the least amount of gems, but it's still nice to have. It's definitely better than nothing. And that will either save him 30 gems in his shopping, or it will save him about 5 seconds where he doesn't have to pick one up later on. So Bird now into the hat floaty room with the things that shoot fire. We're very nearly at the next boss. Janglestorm just collecting his key. So both players will be using their super pipe ball they bought in the shop, as Jangle has a little trouble with this room. That makes it fine. So using their super pipe ball on this boss, the reason we bought it. What he'll be trying to do is jump into the spider's hitbox here, unfortunately falling out of it. But by whipping as you're about to be hit, you don't get knocked back. And also resets our cannon jump, so we basically get to stay in the hitbox permanently. And effectively play a game of chicken. That was a very, very nice kill by Bird there. Fell out a bit at the beginning, but recovered fine. Never in any danger of using his auto potion. Let's see how Jangle does. Oh, unfortunately getting knocked down there. So he's going to take it a bit safe and then work his way in after he got a bit of damage, but falls out again. So he has to play it a bit safe, otherwise he is at risk of losing his auto potion here, and that's exactly what he's doing. Oh, takes another. Has to avoid the flames here. Gets knocked down. Thankfully his invulnerability lasting through the flames. I believe they do 2 lots of damage. He has to be very careful now. Another hit and his auto potion is gone, which is an important safety item. Oh, and it goes, unfortunately. A very, very unfortunate fight from Janglestorm there. As Bird is now onto Tanline Island. So our first trip here is very short, as he gets a Monster Milk drop, a Bubble Shield drop. Both items he'd be wanting to see. That Bubble Shield, you are pretty much required to get one throughout the run. So he'll be very happy to see that. It means he can basically, he doesn't have to set aside 25 gems to buy one. Janglestorm now finished with Spiderweb Island and will be heading to Tanline as Bird picks up his X-ray specs. So I'll be interested to see what Bird does here, if he shops now or if he shops later, because I'm fairly sure he did buy an extra Pirate Flare, but I could be mistaken. He's going to Sliver Island first, which is typically what you do in the main shopping route, but there's no time difference between the two, as far as I'm aware. Which order you do them in. As Janglestorm gets some Monster Milk himself, he'll be happy with that. So head back to Sliver Island. We need to get 3 codes from 3 sarcophagi, one of which is here on Sliver Island. This will be the last time we're here. Janglestorm, Bird even, having a little trouble with the mermaids there, but that shouldn't matter. Although there's no easy way to refill that health between now and the next dungeon, so and it is possible to take a lot of damage in the next dungeon, so it's not entirely yeah, that damage does matter potentially. So let's see if Bird gets his shopper as he goes to murder Joe. Sky's dad found a sarcophagus on Tanline Island. Joe decides to read the sarcophagus and gets petrified. Thankfully, that lets us get the second mummy sketch. The third being on Tanline, as yeah, Bird is going shopping here. He must not have picked up 3 pirate flares there. Yeah, so I must have been mistaken earlier. So picking up 5 pirate flares and 3 potions. So as long as drops are nice to him, he's done for the rest of the run. So we'll probably see him skipping all the gem drops from now on and just hoping to rely on RNG. Which, to be fair, has been nice to him. That's a second bubble shield, so that is useful. It can help you with Steel Maggot, making it slightly safer. Who is the penultimate boss. He'll have wanted to see a super pipe ball there, but instead just got 1 regular pipe ball. And yeah, he's skipping all the gems. He's going to do just the 2 shops. So he's very much relying on RNG here. Will gets at least 1 super pipe ball, maybe even 2 there. He'll be very pleased with that. As he gets his code, you see Janglestorm there picking up 3 pirate flares and a super monster milk. So he will be shopping again. He needs 1 more pirate flare. Janglestorm gets his bubble shield. This Bird with the sarcophagus is collected will now be about to head into Tanline Temple. Let's see how Janglestorm's luck is meanwhile. Just 4 regular pipe balls. There's Bird here in Tanline Temple now, which is a stealth section. So what we'll be doing here is we'll be avoiding all of these guards. I believe Janglestorm did get a super pipe ball there. If any of these guards see you, as Bird waits an extra cycle, I believe, or... yeah, if you get caught by any of the Bird missed to jump, so he played it safe. But yeah, if you get seen by any of these guards, you don't get sent back to the start of the room like you do in Run Run Rotty Tops. Instead, you get sent back to the start of the section. So if you get caught at the very end, it's over a minute's time loss. This Bird gets the 1 cycle on the chain there. So if you remember back to the earlier on in the run, we picked up some extra keys. This is the dungeon where those keys come in handy. Bird going for the 1 cycle. Bird's still on really, really good pace here, especially as he doesn't have to shop again. Just depends on drops. It's Janglestorm now entering Tanline, but that was a very good Tanline by Bird. So I believe Bird's current item count is 1 monster milk, 1 super milk, and 2 super pikes. So he'll be hoping he needs 2 more milks, basically. There's some more opportunities to get them though. Let's see if Janglestorm goes for the... Oh, Janglestorm gets caught jumping a little bit too soon, landing just outside of the shadow, and the guard sends him back to the beginning. So that's about a 40-second time loss, if not a little bit more. That is very, very unfortunate. Bird now picking up his golden pickaxe, which will allow him to progress to the main part of the dungeon. And we'll see if he does an inventory check here or if he's happy with what he got. Second time around, Jangle decides to wait out the cycle. So taking it slower, but taking it safe. We're not even going for that one. Taking it... Oh, and he gets caught again! That's extremely unfortunate. Bird now about to head into the next dungeon, the Lost Catacombs. Yep, heading down through the purple block room. And yeah, as you see his health, he's down to 3 hearts now. 3 points damage, and he very nearly walks into the spikes. So most of the enemies in the room that Bird is in now do 3 points of damage. So if he takes a hit, that's his auto potion gone. He should be safe. Janglestorm taking it extremely safe. Bird gets a super pipe ball and a super monster milk. I believe Bird only has 3 milks. So we'll have to go milkless for a boss. Yeah. Janglestorm is taking this the safest you can, as Bird gets the 1 cycle Crusher Room.
Monster milk.
So Bird using a super pipe one, I believe a regular monster milk. I wasn't quite paying attention. We'll soon see. Yeah, regular milk. So he's got to be a bit careful here because he only used a regular milk. He wasn't healed to full. And he did take a hit. So he'll be wanting to kill Squidbound during that charge phase, and he does. This means that he will start the next round with an eating phase, which means you just basically get to wallop on him. Very nice fight by Bird as Janglestorm finally finishing up Town Line Temple after getting caught twice, unfortunately. If I had to guess on Bird's side, he will go milkless against Dagron. We'll go no milk, super pipe ball against Dagron, then regular pipe ball, super milk against Steel Maggot, and then both supers against Pirate Master. Yeah, Bird on a very, very good time. So before he heads over to Mudbog, he'll be heading back to Scuttletown to pick up a Death Mask, which will allow him to enter the next area of the game. It is extremely easy to forget you need to collect this. Head to the next island, as Janglestorm decides to kill a Scorpgal and gets a super monster milk for his trouble. Clearly wasn't happy with his drops up to that point. Yes, very easy to forget to pick up the Death Mask and go through the next area to get to the entrance, to only be told, nope, you can't come here. Sorry, mate, come back later. Still not happy with his drops, kills an additional Scorpgal, gets rewarded or I guess punished with 5 gems from it. Still somewhat helpful depending on what he needs to buy. Bird now heading through Mudbog Island. So these rooms can be very dangerous. If you take a hit here, it's very possible just to get swarmed by enemies and lose a lot of health. As you'll see, a slight divergence here. Janglestorm going to kill this Scorpgal and grab this key here. He's hoping for a drop, and again, gets blocked with 5 gems. Bird failing his charge in that room, but fortunately not taking any damage. Not losing a whole lot of time because of it. Was Bird gets some monster milk from one of the crab things. I didn't even know they could drop monster milks. So that means he has a milk for the rest of the boss. What? Yeah, he's got milk for the rest of the bosses now. I don't know. I don't understand. Janglestorm getting another milk. I'm not 100% sure what Jangle's milk situation is. I know he's got at least 2 super milks and 2 regular milks. So he's got at least a milk for all the bosses. Gets another super pipe ball. And another super pipe balls, but I think Jungle Storm's probably good for the rest of the run as well. As Bird doing more animation skips. So yeah, Bird in the village of Lost Souls now. He'll be collecting 3 coins to use with a game of heads and tails later on. And with the way his run's going, it'll be heads, heads, and then the last one will go away and he doesn't need to do it and he only needs to do 2. Yeah, no, heads and tails is completely RNG. You got to get it right 3 times in a row. Jungle Storm uses regular milk and a super bite wall here for Squid Baron. Yeah, you collect these 3 coins, give them to the gamers, and then yeah, you got to get it right 3 times in a row. Thankfully, after you get it wrong 3 times, the 4th time is guaranteed. So, yeah, the game's somewhat nice to you. But if you get it wrong on the 3rd try, as in you get like the first 2 right and get it wrong 3 times in a row, you can lose a significant amount of time. Still can't believe that Bird just got random milk from an enemy that I didn't even know dropped milks. So he gets tails there on Bird's side. Tails again. Oh, he thought he had heads, I think. Or maybe he did have heads. Gets through on the 4th time. So not a great game as there from Bird, but can definitely be a lot worse. As Jungle Storm has a very nice kill on Squid Baron. Bird now picking up his manly musk, which will let him enter into the oubliette of suffering. Jungle Storm picking up his death mask now. So Bird here in the oubliette of suffering. This is the dungeon that you can skip 80% of thanks to the risky shuffle. So it is the dungeon where you'd normally pick up the risky boots, but an unintended consequence of yeah, the risky shuffle. So this isn't even intended in pirate mode. It is a bug. We can charge up in the space here when normally you'd have to line up all the platforms, and this lets us skip 80% of the dungeon. And we're on to the boss, Dagrom. So yeah, regular. Oh, he's using the milk here. Oh, of course, because he got that extra milk. I forgot about that. So yeah, using regular milk super pipe here against Dagrom. Which should be a easy 3 cycle, maybe a 2 cycle if he gets some good hits on the way up. Not sure if that's quite good enough, and no, unfortunately Dagron swoops along. Bird not in position, he has to be careful here. Very easy to get basically get out of sequence here, but he should be dead shortly. Yeah, not quite getting the 2 cycle. There we go, a 3 cycle. The advanced questions, time is the same for both runners. Bird just unfortunately is playing on PS4, so doesn't have any way to set a timer up. Yeah, the runs are anywhere from about 55 minutes average, I'd say. Bird's probably on pace now for about a 51, I think. Yeah, very nice Dagron as Jungle Storm is now collecting his coins, getting boxed in by the ghost there, but playing it very smartly and avoiding any damage, as he needs to play it safe as he does not have that auto potion. And you see Jungle Storm will be losing time to Bird just because he has to collect more gems.
Flare activated.
Bird using his Pirate Flare to leave. You have to exit the Village of Lost Souls before you can use your Pirate Flare, as you're only allowed to use it outside. So Bird now heading to Frostbite Island, the final island of the game.
Let's go.
So he'll be avoiding. No, we won't. I lied. I wonder why he's killing these wolves. So normally you'd avoid all of these. The only reason you kill them is if you need a super pipe ball or a super monster milk. And I believe Bird is good on both. I think he's got one super pipe ball and one regular pipe ball. And a regular pipe ball and steel maggot, which is the next boss, is no slower. Well, it's a bit slower, but you still 2-cycle him. Unless he unless he really wants to go for the 1-cycle, which he would need a super pipe before. Yeah, strange to see him kill so many wolves. Janglestorm now about to enter the oubliette of suffering. So, into Propeller Town for Bird. So he'll be heading up here. Interesting to see if he tries to go for the auto potion jump or not. He's not set up for it thus far, but could be. Janglestorm having a little bit of trouble with his analog stick there, accidentally crouching a few times. Yeah, Bird taking intentional damage there. He is going to be going for the auto potion jump. Oh, and he takes a hit on the spikes. That wasn't an intentional damage. Unfortunately costing him quite a few seconds. Janglestorm entering his Dagron fight. So let's see what buffs he decides to use. Probably a regular milk and a super pipe ball, if I had to guess. Oh no, regular milk, regular pipe ball. That's going to be a 4-cycle probably. Oh, a Bird unfortunately not getting the auto potion jump. So Bird is now also out of safeties. And that probably cost him 5 seconds or so because he's got to menu back. He's had to menu to the potion. He has to take the intentional damage. That's to menu to the potion. And he has to menu back to a pirate flare, and he had to attempt the jump. So he probably lost, somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds. But a very, very nice Dagron fight by Janglestorm there.
Flare activated.
So Bird now doing the final backtracking of the game. We're heading to Spiderweb Island to hand in the lost soul he picked up. That Janglestorm kindly demonstrates to us. By handing in the lost soul to Abner here, we pick up the Spirit of Joe. And we'll almost certainly be talking to Abner again to pick up a pirate flare. So we could see Janglestorm skip that pirate flare if he chooses to buy 2 from the shop as you would normally do. But yeah, where you see Bird now in town, this is where people will be doing their final shopping. The Bird will be charging through Scarecrow Fields, ignoring all the enemies, and they'll be going to see Branson, which is the second part of our fetch quest. So the sword we picked up earlier in Town Line, that is what we use it for. But yeah, Bird very much on pace for 51 here. Don't think it's quite sub 51 pace, but it's very, very close. They're not quite getting the ideal lineup there and not adjusting for it either. I don't blame him in a quarter-final match. But there'll be someone in chat, a couple people in chat who won't be happy with that. Janglestorm now making his way up to Propeller Town as Bird is now handing over the Spirit of Joe to revive Joe, who, whilst he was stoned, had a lot of time to think and decided that he doesn't want to be with Sky. So with Bolo's excellently crafted module there, we shoot accurately towards the palace, don't miss and don't open the entrance to the dungeon, and that's the run over. Good, yep, game run over, we can't complete the game. Thankfully, knows Bird is doing a shop, that is why he killed the wolves. He's picking up 3 potions. He's buying a super pipe ball. So he's going for that 1 cycle. That's the only reason he'd be buying a super pipe ball, unless I miscounted his items earlier on. But if I am correct and he has 2 super milks and 1 super pipe ball, you could just use a regular pipe ball and still 2 cycle him. So the only reason you would go for that super pipe ball is if you want to 1 cycle him. Because otherwise you're just losing time. Janglestorm now at everyone's favourite person to hate, Bolo. So the key you're about to see Bird pick up is one Janglestorm can skip. Because Janglestorm did pick up that extra key in the Lost Catacombs, it means he can skip a key here in Frostbite. Yeah, Bird's on about mid 51 pace unless he can mod cycle Steel Maggot here. In which case he can get it to low. Well, unfortunately messing up his charge there. Thankfully that didn't mess up the Ice Block cycle too badly. And gets through onto Steel Maggot. So Bird does have a Bubble Shield here, which makes this fight easier. The way this fight works is you have 3 buttons on the back of Steel Maggot, and you have to hit them in a particular order. Which Bird gets first time is perfectly set up for the 1 cycle here. Oh, he doesn't get it. When he misses, but that should still be good for a 2 cycle. That was, yeah, we don't know what that pattern will be. Although Bird very nearly getting it right the second time, so who knows what it is now. It's 3, 2, 1. When he gets it wrong again, losing a bit of time. Janglestorm doing his final shot, buying a Bubble Shield. Maybe a 2 cycle from Bird there. Didn't quite see what Janglestorm got. He was sort of unsure himself what he wanted to buy. Even going down for buffs at some point and buys an auto potion. Yeah, very nice Steel Maggot from Bird. Couple of minor mishits, but still a very, very nice fight. Yeah, that puts him closer to a 52 now, I believe. But it should still be a 51. Janglestorm now handing in his blade to a person who's totally not He-Man, never will be He-Man, never is He-Man. Ransom. As Bird heads to the Lonely Grave to visit the grave of the Pirate Master, who will definitely not come back to life. So we'll never get to fight the final boss, so the run's over again. As Bird attacking his own kind there, scaring it off. Disappointed to see that in him. Anyone else it's expected, but Bird. You think he'd be nice to his own kind. Yeah, Pirate Master is back to life and takes a risky. My voice is going apparently. Excellent. Yep, with everything done, we're now heading over to Scuttletown. So, one final run over towards the palace. Yeah, Bird on a 51 pace here. mid to high 51s if I had to guess, but it could be slightly lower, depends how his climb is. The bird now making the climb, and thankfully with some very precise hat and cannon timings, we can skip the vast majority of this. The intended strategy is to go through basically 3 rooms that are called the Pirate Trials, which are some significantly hard platforming sections. So the bird goes for the extra hat skip there. It only falls once, that's a very, very nice climb. So yeah, he's on target for a low to mid 51 actually. And he's not taking the save, so it is possible to die on Pirate Master, so we will see what happens, but he'll play it safe if anything else. So Pirate Master is where we needed our bubble shield for, because he has an attack that can do 2 full hearts of damage, but thankfully the bubble shield blocks. He's getting fairly nice RNG here, getting a couple of middles. As Janglestorm is onto his Steel Maggot fight and having a decent time with it so far. The bird being playing it a little safe here, not getting too much damage on him during the platforming phase. So he has to be careful. He should kill him just before the lasers, but it should be close. And these lasers will kill him if he's hit and he doesn't have all he gets it just before they go off. So GG to Bird. So 17 Bird finishes in first place with an official SRL time of 51 minutes and 51 seconds. So congratulations to him as Janglestorm finishes up Steel Maggot. That's a very, very nice time from Bird there. That's his. Oh no, yeah, he only had a 51 in the tournament as well, so it's not his best run of the tournament thus far, but his second in a row. Janglestorm now himself heading over to the Lonely Grave, and he scares off the bird. Unfortunately, he couldn't scare. That one we'll have to do. Let's see if we can get. Sorry. Let's see if we can get Bird in here for an interview. See if he wants to come in. There he is. Let's bring him in. GG Bird, congratulations on that run. That was very nice run. Sub 52-minute run is always nice to get in a tournament.
Thank you.
My first question is, that monster milk drop that you got on your way to the Village of Lost Souls, did you know they could drop that? Was that just complete luck, or was it half planned?
For the most part, I always go for killing the bugs to get the monster milk from them. I always gotta make sure I have at least 3 going into there, so that I have enough for...
Yeah, no, I had no idea they could drop them, so yeah, that was very nice
They can
indeed.
also drop fire flares.
That is good to know. I might have to start doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was...
like 2 seconds you can save from not talking to Abner when going back to Spiderweb Island.
That's really interesting. But yeah, how do you feel about your run overall? It seemed to be fairly well. You had decent RNG throughout, I think.
I had pretty good RNG throughout. Nothing too spectacular. I think it was short on super pipe balls throughout the end game. I had to kill some wolves, get some gems. I think some of my execution with boss fights was pretty bad. Steel Maggot and Dagon did not go that well. They could have been at least like 30 seconds better.
Yeah, with buying that super pipe ball for Steel Maggot, was that just so if you had the lineup, you could go for the one cycle,
Yeah.
or did you just?
I always do that.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, good to know. This Jangle just finishing up on Pirate Master here. But yeah, you're through to the semi-finals now, where you'll be facing off against either Turkey or Tina. So, should you be happy about that getting to the semis?
Excited to see that match later tonight. Actually, those two going at it.
Yeah, it should be very good. Yeah, I think that's at 7 PM Eastern. There we go, Jangle. So GG Tim, that was a very good time, especially considering he got caught twice in tan line.
What was the time finishing? I see.
Yeah, he got caught twice in the last stream of tan line, so that's a minute and a half there lost. So that's a really good time considering that. Yeah, looks like janglestorm wants to go for an interview, so let's bring him in. GG Jangle, how do you feel about that run? Let's ignore tan line for now. Everything out, how did the rest of the run go?
Was terrible. That was too bad, but the rest went not too bad really.
Yeah, you had decent luck throughout, and yeah, despite the minute and a half at least you lost on tan line, that's a really good time considering that.
Yeah, and I also had good luck with the coin gamers in the village of Lost Souls. That was that's been a while since I got first try on that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that's very nice to get.
Yeah.
So yeah, saves a bit of time. Anything in particular about the run you want to point out? Anything that went particularly well, or
sorry, anything
anything that went particularly well, or anything that stood out to you?
Apart from that, nothing special. The Ammo Baron fight was pretty okay, I guess. Let's see. Well, everything leading up to the 10-line temple went very well. I was pretty much on a PB pace there, and Righty Tops went very well, I thought. So yeah. Shame about the second half.
Yeah, and unfortunately not having the best Empress Spider fight either, losing your auto potion, but you didn't let that deter you, and yeah, picked up an extra one later on.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that unfortunately means you're out of the tournament now. But do you have any thoughts on the tournament as a whole thus far? Sort of how do you feel you did compared to your expectations, and just how do you think the tournament went?
Well, I had no expectations about making it to the bracket stages for sure, and I've had a blast doing these matches. It's been a lot of fun playing this on a regular basis, and yeah, I mean, thanks for organizing the whole thing so far.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks to everyone involved in organising it.
Yeah, and GG to Birdie.
Yep, GG.
But do you have any final thoughts on your run or anything?
I think that's pretty much it.
Brilliant. Yeah. So make sure you follow both these runners. Links are in chat. If you want to follow me, you can do that as well. That's also in chat. But yeah, no, thanks to both runners. That was a great race. So Bird moves on to the semi-finals. Well, janglestorm does not get 2 more weeks of stress like the rest of us. So good for him. I think he's a but yeah, we have another Shantae race coming. So that'll be a very nice race indeed, and the winner of that will be facing off against 17 Bird in the semi-finals. So it'll be very, very good to see. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to Speed Gaming for restreaming, and thanks to both our runners, obviously, for running this game. See you, everyone.